Yeah, coming back as I was sharing this morning, the pre-summit webinar. There's a four pre-summit webinar every month starting today, so which I will actually share later on before I end the webinar, which you can actually attend. So some of those speakers actually attended some of my live webinar in the past as invited speaker as well. And then the event is actually in person in November, the actual in-person event. It's up to 250 tickets for sale. So this time around, the event is ticketed, so there'll be a fee to attend the in-person event. So not to worry if you are still a new seller, you can still attend, most of my webinar. It will still be very applicable for you to start learning the basics, the fundamentals. And then as you go deeper, then that's where perhaps in the future you could also attend such events where you can get more specific and in-depth advice and best practices from those very, very experienced sellers. All right, so I'm not going to talk more. So in the interest of time, we're going to start. Now today, again, just a quick introduction. My name is Chin Liang, and I'm the trainer here with the Amazon Seller Education. All right, so I will be sharing about what is this golden 90 days about when you're selling on Amazon. And then this session will be really, really most applicable for sellers, which you are probably in your first year or you just created your account, just started selling on Amazon. Right, so this gives you an overview of what you can actually do during the first 90 days while you are planning to start selling. All right, some important notice. So if you have not subscribed to our official YouTube channel, you can go ahead and subscribe, which I will also share the link. It's actually everything in my QR code that I'm sharing, and also in the message box. If you see when you first enter the webinar, you will see a auto message, right? So that's where you can go in and find a lot of resources, which I will update from time to time, as well as you can find the link to sign up for the Southern Seller Fest this year. Right, so when you subscribe, you will be notified when I upload all the new videos recording. All right, and then just for you to understand and take note that we won't be sharing the Q&A section. So the Q&A segment is exclusively for all of you here who are sharing your time with me. So whatever on the playback will only be the content itself. So last but not least, I extracted all your questions that you fill up during registrations in the morning. So if you actually happen to register maybe a few hours earlier, I might have missed out your questions. So if that's the case, at the end of it, while I go through those pre-submitted questions from all of you, you can start putting your questions in the question box as well. You don't have to wait for the end. You can also start putting at any point of time if you see any questions, but I will be able to address it at the end of the webinar. Right, so always look back to Seller University or Seller Central Help for the most updated information. Quick share. So Seller Education team, the team I'm in consists of the Seller University, which is all the one pager, the short form videos and one pager documents, and the curriculums on the Seller Central website that you can find. Or the other one, which is the one you are attending right now, which is the Amazon Live webinar. I think everybody wants to know what is this golden 90 days. All right. So there's this 90-day golden period for new sellers. So how this 90 days started is when your inventory is listed as available for sale on a new account. Right. So if you are using FBA, meaning that you are using fulfillment by Amazon to help you pick, pack, and ship your product to your customers. So the date will start from the day that your inbound products are listed and available for sale. Right. So the start of the 90 day will be the day that started when your products are available for sale. All right. So what happened is that there are tools which is very critical for first 90 days as new sellers because that would and the data is shown that that will actually determine the future performance of new seller. Right. So we do have statistics to show that you can see over here. I'm not going to go through these, but in summary, we do see that sellers who adopted those recommendations during the first 90 days do have a better performance compared to those who did not do so. Right. So not just on selling on Amazon US, which I believe most of you will be starting out in the Amazon US store first. These 90 days is also applicable to the other different stores that you see over here. Right, so this is the overall plan, all right? You should try to navigate through it, which I will touch through each of it. So phase one is really to lay the foundations, right? So from now to the day zero, or assuming you have already listed your products, it's pending inbounding or about to reach the fulfillment center, all right? So you should have already started, registering your trademarks. If you're selling in the US, you should have a trademark in the US PTO office, all right? So that is important because it will help you unlock a lot of the different brand tools that can help you further amplify your product listing visibility, right? And then, of course, the product will arrive or should have arrived in the FBA warehouse soon, or you can use the Amazon Warehousing and Distribution Service, AWD. And at the same time, while you have set up your listings and while waiting for your products to be shipped over to the fulfillment center or the AWD warehouse, typically, most seller will go with the sea shipment, all right, the sea ocean shipment. So that would take about 30, not 30, that would take us about 2.5 to 3 months before your product will be fully checked in the fulfillment center because I'm assuming most of us is going to be sourcing from typically China to the US. All right, so it takes about by sea about 3 months as a gauge, so plus some buffer. So during that period, actually you can start to do your listing optimization by leveraging all these things that I'm going to share as well. And additionally, what you can start to do is also all these four things that I think is really important before you even start to think about what you want to sell. So these are the overview I just want to share with everyone, like your product research, understand your target market, explore other resources, and also understand the cost structure. Right, typically this is what we see in the consumer persona in the US, right? And then again, take this with a pinch of salt for now because the data is actually on 2020. I would not say it's totally irrelevant, but I would say that these data just to give you an overview that what are the popular category. All right, it does not mean that you should focus on these types of the product category, right? So at the end of the day, I would say you have to do your product research, right? Whatever product category is actually quite generic, right? There's a certain more specific product that you should be looking at. And for selling on Amazon US, right, these are all the different product category. So you can see that whatever you can think of, most likely it will be available for you to sell on Amazon. And most importantly, you want to make sure that whatever you're selling will meet the regulations of the Amazon as well as the target store you're selling. In our case, I would take it as the US store. All right. Well, to give you some idea first, there are certain function or rather the certain navigations on Amazon.com that you can find popular products, right? Which is why I won't share the earlier on about the in-demand product because you can actually find it on this page. Right, you go to your Amazon.com, not the .sg, you should go to the .com, and then you can go to see there is a bestseller link on top, right? And then over there, you will see all these different options. All right, these data are updated. You can see bestseller, new releases, mover shakers, and what is most wished for, and give ideas. Right, this give you a sense of the popular product and also give you an idea of what possibly are the things that you could have potentially make it better, right? And then you might be able to sell it to your target audience. Right, another thing I think everyone should know, actually before you start selling on Amazon, I think this gives you a brief overview on what is the basic cost structure. Right, so the professional selling plan is actually $39.99 per month USD. However, we do have a promotion from now till the September where you will only need to pay $1 USD for the first month, and you get access to a total of 6 months access to the professional selling account. Right, so the difference is that the professional selling plans will give you a lot more features like Product Opportunity Explorer, as well as you do not need to incur the per unit fee, right? Which in comparison, if you are just using the individual personal selling account, every product that you sold will incur additional 99 cents USD per unit. All right, so if you're going to sell at least like 40 units, then it makes more sense for you to use the professional selling account. Right. Then again, after the 6 months, if you're wondering, if you do not have any active listing, you will not be charged for the $39.99 USD. Right. So the cost you want to be aware of, just grab a pen over here. Yep. Variable cost here, right? You want to factor into your planning. Right. So this gives you just an overview, where you think your profit will come from. You want to factor in all this fee, your marketing costs, fulfillment costs, your selling fee. Selling fee consists of your account monthly maintenance fee, which is the subscription fee for your professional selling plan, and then the referral fee, which is every single product depends on the product category. There'll be an additional percentage. It's more like a what I say commission fee, etc. Right? It applies for all platforms that you use, not just Amazon actually. And then of course your cost of goods. All right, how much does it cost you to actually get the product that you want to sell? Right, so this is a referral fee, right? So always check back um, to find in the Seller Central, you can get the most updated information, right? So it can range from about 8 to 15% if I remember. Yep. And do know that everything I've shared here is actually in USD, right? US dollars. Like to help you get started, you can actually use the FBA fees revenue calculator, right? This you can put in and see a comparison between your own fulfillment option if you do have one. If not, you can look at the Amazon fulfillment option, meaning that you're going to use the Amazon fulfillment by Amazon service to help you ship your products to your customer for any sales you have. All right, quick overview. I do have a full-length webinar regarding FBA, but to give you an overview, the difference between FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, as well as FBM, you may see a lot of places, some call it MFN, right? Some call it FBM, or some call it self-ship. It actually means the same. All right. So there's typically two ways typically. All right. It's either Amazon fulfill it for you or you do your own fulfillment, right? So this is just the difference between the two. Now, as a seller myself located in Southeast Asia, all right, I typically actually use FBA for the fact that because I don't reside in the US, so it's easier for me to plan, my shipment to the US fulfillment center and let Amazon do the fulfillment for me, right? So it's very unlike like if you're in your domestic, if I'm selling in domestic, let's say if I'm selling in Singapore, then that could be a different story. I can actually pick pack the product myself and send it and drop it off at, I don't know, like some SingPost or whatnot, right? But if you're not located domestically in the place that you're selling, I do feel that it's actually easier, to have FBA, Amazon, to actually help me fulfill the products to my customer. Right, these are just some of the advantages that you can take advantage of if you were to use FBA. And then there are some benefit which I think I want to share, which is very useful. Right, in terms of saving logistics, it also help you reduce any potential account risk because if you are fulfilling yourself, you will need to adhere to the what we call the shipping rate, the tracking rate, etc. Right, if you're managing yourself and then you are unable to fulfill your order on time, you may get flagged on your account. Right. Lastly, because a lot of the sellers, or rather a lot of customers, are actually having a Prime membership, right? And then also it helps that for them, if they are Prime membership or they are in the US, which is a lot bigger space than, for example, Singapore, they can still get their product that they buy within 1 to 2 days if you are using FBA to sell your products. Right, compared to if you use your own shipping options, you might take a bit longer for them to reach your customers. All right, and then that would also have an impact in terms of how you can get your product being the winning featured offer, which is the third point I'm sharing. All right, next I want to cover is regarding product listing. All right, again, do note that some product may require approval, all right, especially things that consume or use on the body, on the skin, cosmetic product, baby product, children product, all right. So all these have to be vetted and you need to get approval from the authority from the US, for example, like FDA, before you are allowed to sell the product, right? Meaning that you will need to get approval, documentation, etc. And then you will need to upload to Amazon for them to verify that your product are certified safe to be used, etc. Only then your listing will be available to sellers. I mean, to available to your customers. Right. Different component of listing. I'm pretty sure most of you would have known if you shop on Amazon. And then these are all the areas that you can optimize. And for this, creating A plus content, so I'm pretty sure you will have chance upon as well. A plus content listing are usually more visually appealing, and then you can put a little bit more information than the typical normal listings, where there's only images and product bullet point and also description. Right. So with A plus content, you can put like side by side using different tiles or widget to showcase your product. So again, when you are enrolled under the Amazon brand registry, you also get beside A plus content, you can also create your own brand store. And then brand store is essentially like you are creating your own store page on Amazon. You can even get your own URL, right? Amazon.com/ your brand name or something like that, so long it's not taken, right? And then they will land onto your brand store, which everything is about your product. As you can see here, it's like a website that is kind of like hosted on Amazon.com, that kind of feeling. So you have different ways I can design it, classify it, and categorize it without any coding involved. It's all drag and drop for you. All right, so you can see that's quite a lot, that you can actually do during your first 30 days. All right, so in fact, some of these things you should be able to do it on an ad hoc basis as well while you are moving on to the next phase, because your shipment do actually take some time to reach the fulfillment center. So that brings me back to the next point, right? You might also want to start thinking, setting up your Amazon ads. Now, again, for setting up Amazon ads, I would strongly encourage you to, first of all, make sure that your listing is good enough. Make sure that you have used up, all the best practices, filling up all the elements, what do you call it? Elements, make sure that you have create a good title, description, everything else before you even start running your Amazon ads. All right. If not, your Amazon ads investment might go to waste. Right. Not just Amazon ads. In fact, all other form of, ads investment, I would say that you should actually do ensure you have a proper listing first before you even start to think about running Amazon ads. All right. So assuming everything is done in place already, you should start looking at Amazon ads. And then we do have a lot of session. In fact, every month we invite Hui Qi, which is our Amazon ads manager expert, to join us with different topics on Amazon ads. So You can really watch our recording start from the January until now. Every month, she will be on our webinar to cover different topic from the basics to the more advanced one on how you can strategize your ads, your different bidding strategy, different setting, what are the different ads product, different placements, and how you can read your report and make the most out of it. Right, so that is something you should look at as well. So I'll be covering that. You can check out from the QR code on the previous webinar as well. Now moving on phase 3, this is the part where you should also start to look at running certain campaigns, etc. Right? Campaigns such as the promotional tools that you can use, running uh, deals, running using coupon, prime exclusive discount, etc. So I will share a bit on the tools such as the coupons. All right. So again, coupons, I'm not sure if you've seen before. I will show you in the next few slides. You will definitely be able to help your sellers and also yourself to get more visibility. And then, sellers, sorry, I mean your customers will be very happy to see that, oh, there's actually coupons, or what we call in Singapore, we call vouchers, right? So it's actually the same thing. So there is a page on Amazon.com which is, all the coupons, and then of course there are customers who just go to those page to really find good deals, right? So you can see how to tell whether is it a coupon, etc. Right. So on the listing, you also see things like that on this like green label, right? It might change, all right, but tentatively for now, it still looks like this if I remember. Yep. So on the search results, if your product have a coupon, your customer will be able to see that, oh, they can save like 5% or they can save X amount of dollars. Again, even in your product listing page, you can see that all this promotional discount is very much appearing so that your customers actually know that they can leverage on these promotions, right? Alright, so how can you use coupon? I'm covering this because there are some changes. I think few months ago, I think during around April or March, right, there are some changes in the coupon. Alright, so first of all, to let you understand, there is a fee to use coupon. There is a 60 cent USD redemption fee. Okay, this you want to factor in your promotion strategy, alright? So whenever a customer uses your coupon, you will be charged additional 60 cents, right, for each of the use of the coupon. And besides that, in the past, there is no past historical sales required to use coupon. Now, since the new updated requirements in around March or April this year, going forward, all sellers who wanted to try to use coupon, they will need to have a sales history first, right? Meaning that you would have ideally sold about one, two, or three product first before you can actually create coupons. And then there are some more information here, right? Depending the current prices, the discount price, and the discount must be between 5 to 50%. All right, it all look a little bit confusing or a little bit complicated, but I would say that don't have to overthink too much because during the coupon creation time, all this information will again appear on your Seller Central user interface. And then if you were to create anything that is not eligible, right, it will also tell you what is the issue. Like, for example, if you try to create a coupon for your very new launch product without any sale, there'll be a notification there that says you're not able to create because this product do not have a historical price. That's it, right? So don't have to remember this. Right, again, similarly, all right, the same thing, depend on the pricing verification rules. All right. So some of you ask what is exactly the reference price, right? So I'm going to show you, huh? All right. Reference price is actually displayed in several places, including the product detail page and product search result to show how much customer can save. All right. But sometimes it may not be showing up. All right. But just to share with you, you know that typically you see a price and there's a cross out price and then showing the real price you're selling. All right. So the price that's being crossed out is essentially like the reference price. All right. So on your Seller Central event, your when you're creating a listing, all right, on your edit listing page, right, the reference price is what we call the list price here. Yeah, all right. So now if you are launching actually a new product, like you are selling yourself, your own brand new product, etc., you can also put zero as the reference price, all right? Meaning that you do not have any reference price, and that's fine. All right. Right. So the main takeaway is do not leave it empty. It's an optional field. All right. But if you leave it empty, you might have some challenge in creating coupons because they may not be able to detect your reference price. Right. So if you do not have a reference price, just put it zero there. Right, so there are a lot of other tools available. The promotional tools like the outlet deals, Prime exclusive discount, coupons, Amazon Buy, etc., which are covered in two separate webinars that you can rewatch it. Right. The last thing I want to share is really regarding about your brand building and brand protection, right, which is related to Amazon Brand Registry. So you can see at the very start of the first 90 day, which we encourage, sellers to kickstart getting their trademark registered. That is the first phase here. All right. So with that, right, this is actually our recommended brand development roadmap because once you unlock all these branding tools and protection available at the very start after you enroll into Amazon Brand Registry, you get access to all this, right? And then you get brand analytics and also other protections such as allowing you to report any infringements if anybody were to sell what you call like trying to copy or selling a fake product of yours. So if you do not know where to find help to get your IP, we do have a page called the IP Accelerator Program. So over here, there's a list of the IP, intellectual property service provider that you can reach out to get their help to get your trademark in the US. Okay, last but not least, I also want to share with you, right? You can also leverage and utilize the new seller incentive that we have. Well, this is an overview of the incentive that you can get, and then we do have like some recommendation on at which phase of your first 90 days you can use the different types of the new seller incentive. All right, so this is just a recommended phase, which hopefully we hope that seller really kickstarted in their first 90 days to get the most out of it, right? So even if you are out of 90 days, you can still use the new seller incentive. It will be available for a full, if I'm not wrong, it's a full year, right? Right, so the incentive may change year to year, depending on when you get your first listed product. Right, so this year is the new seller incentive 2024. I did a one whole webinar on that, which you can check it out. Right, so for those of you who launch your first product, new seller who launch your first product after the 1st of March this year, you will be under the new seller incentive 2024. All right. So typically, year over year, there are just some slight changes in terms of the incentive programs. Yeah, but typically from I see, there's not like a huge difference, just some slight difference in terms of the incentive. So not, there's no, like, you're not losing out a lot if you are under the new seller incentive of 2023, right? Right, so that's all the main content I want to cover, and then moving on, I'm going to share some really useful resources for you. So what I've covered earlier on, if you are somebody who wants to keep a copy of this one-pager guide handy, you can scan the QR code as well to download it, or we have a beginner guide for new seller. Right, so and you can see each of these different, how should I put it, different post-it note here. All right, it's links to the different information. All right, you can click on the PDF once you downloaded it. All right, and then the other one, the new seller incentive, what I share is also here. All right, and then it will tell you on what are the different benefits that you can get, right, as a new seller. All right, so I'm just going to share again on this promotion because I see that some questions that I get in the registration does ask about how to sell, etc. So I think the very first step is really to take advantage of this promotion that we have right now until September 30th this year. All right. Right. So long your account is registered and approved by September 30, right, you get to enjoy these promotions. All right. So I will not, do it at the very last minute because applications for selling on Amazon do takes time depending on the documentation that you are submitting. There may be some to and fro's. For example, your address do not match what you put in, or the bank statement, etc., doesn't match it, right? Then you might want to kickstart your registration earlier. All right, we do have webinars regarding the step-by-step guide on setting up or getting your registration for the selling account. So you can actually watch that to get an understanding of what you are going to be expecting during your registration if you have not signed up for the selling account yet. Right, so today is actually the last webinar for July, and then we are going to welcome August with upcoming 4 webinar. All right, so these are the 4 webinars that we have coming up. Right, and then you can see that's the ads webinar that we have every month, as well as other topics that we have. So this is the link I was telling you earlier on. I have a list of resources in this link over here. All the seller communities, telegrams that you can subscribe to is also in this one page, resource page. All right. Okay, and this is also what I was sharing at the start of the webinar, the Southern Seller Fest 2024. Right, do register if you have not. Today morning we have the first pre-submit webinar ready, and I attended it, and it was really very insightful as a pre-submit to the actual event. All right, so do register. Or even if you're not going for the in-person one, you can get a free webinar ticket to attend the free webinar. All right. But if you are going on the in-person one, I will see you in the event. So the in-person event is on November 19th to 20th, right? In Singapore, yes. Okay, now coming to the most exciting part already, which is the live Q&A section. And then I'm going to flash the questions that I get this morning. Right, if you see your question is not there, feel free to put it into the question box. All right. And then if you want to speak up, you can let me know so I can unmute you if you want to. All right.